What's up, everybody here, and welcome here to a special predictions of the WWE's Clash in Paris pay-per-view, as those matches will all be predicted on this video. So we start things first on our first matchup. Was scheduled from Monday Night Raw this week. I watched the whole segment, and you can look at the reactions, of course, on my TikTok live stream as well. With Becky Lynch and also Nikki Bella will fight each other for the WWE Intercontinental Championship title. We know Nikki Bella obviously had a long hiatus away from WWE and not being an active rest on the women's roster, but it's good to have her back, and it's good to have her now a part in the WWE's women's roster. It's good to have a familiar, let's say, experienced veteran in the women's roster, and it's brilliant to see that Nikki Bella is on the cards, of course, on the weekend when she takes on the man Becky Lynch. In my prediction on the weekend, I've seen obviously Becky Lynch's form has been absolutely class in the women's roster for Becky Lynch when she obviously took out Lari out and won the WWE Intercontinental Women's Championship way back the night, I think it was at the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. I couldn't remember because I don't really watch women's wrestling, but I did really keep an eye on this rivalry actually recently between Nikki Bella and Rhea Ripley. And if I got up a prediction in this matchup in Clash in Paris in France on Saturday, I think that Becky Lynch will go and win and retain the WWE Intercontinental Women's Championship title and win over Nikki Bella on Saturday. Now I do my predictions for our next matchup on the cards in Clash in Paris. It's Sheamus versus Rusev. These two have got a big rivalry when the days when they were, allegiance together in the League of Nations way back in 2015 with Wade Barrett, Rusev, Alberto Del Rio was involved in that group. And there's a lot of history between Sheamus and Rusev through the years. And it's good that obviously Rusev's now back to the WWE after being away from the WWE for the last 4 years as he was in AEW, portrayed himself as Miro. But since he's now left AEW to come back to WWE, he's been real destructible. He has been after WrestleMania when he returned back to the WWE. And now he's got that rivalry now with Sheamus as a mid-card matches on Raw in the last, let's say, what month now? It's been a rivalry now, or maybe 2 months of rivalry has been going on between Sheamus and Rusev as a mid-card fight on the Raw roster, on the Raw show. This matchup's going to be a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which I don't really know how that really means in terms of the stipulations going to happen. I think this will be like a street fight going on, obviously, between Sheamus and Rusev. Might be something completely different maybe involved in the stipulation. I don't know personally about it, but it looks like Sheamus is going for war going into Clash in Paris on Saturday. And as of Rusev as well, wants to go to war with Sheamus also. This has been going on now, this rivalry now, for the last month or two on Raw. But if I've got to put a prediction in this matchup going into Clash in Paris on Saturday, obviously Sheamus has been in the WWE now for a long time, and he's been this guy, of course, has been, let's say, a veteran, the real main veteran on WWE soil, and Rusev's a guy is also a veteran as well in his own type as well. But if I go up a prediction, this matchup in Clash in Paris, I'm going to probably say Rusev will get the win. He's a hot heel, since returning back to WWE after WrestleMania a few months back. And it makes perfect sense to put Rusev as the winner of that matchup, leaving Clash in Paris after the pay-per-view on Saturday. Now we move on to the fatal four-way matchup in Clash in Paris between Seth freaking Rollins, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Yeet, and also LA Knight. Yeah, good matchup's going to be, by the way, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title, because we know that Seth Rollins cashed his Money in the Bank briefcase in on CM Punk. Punk won the belt. He won the title at SummerSlam against Gunther. And then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins, of course, came out of the briefcase, of course, and then obviously helped with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as well, accompanied with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman as well, and he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title. History repeated itself for Seth Rollins when he won it at WrestleMania in 2015, and then 10 years on, he's done the exact same thing, but to his real arch rival of CM Punk for the last 2 years now, since returning back to WWE in 2023. This hidden rivalry has been going on now for a long time, and there's a real salt he put into the rubbed into the salt of CM Punk when he grabbed that title away from him after defeating and pinning Gunther at SummerSlam, and then obviously he pinned with Cassidy's Money in the Bank briefcase in the CM Punk by 1, 2, 3. So it's him involved in the matchup. There's Jey Uso, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion as well, but lost to Gunther the belt as well. Was disappointing to see Uso lose the title, but you know he's really a main eventer now. It's good to see him now as a main eventer, not being a part of Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso, the tag team now. He's on his own shell now, his own make. He is that main event Jey Uso, and it's good to have him as World Heavyweight Champion. And you've also got LA Knight as well, a guy, of course, has been, let's say, a real fan favourite in the WWE, on SmackDown especially, for the last 2 or 3 years, and a real popular guy with the fans, of course, and he does take after Stone Cold Steve Austin a little bit in terms of his promos and what he says, and you know he really has that. He can trash talk anybody, even CM Punk especially. There was a little bit of a hint between Punk and LA Knight, a little bit of a, let's say, a little bit of kerfuffle between Jey Uso, LA Knight, and Punk on the end of Monday Night Raw a few days back, and a bit of pushing and shoving between those 3 men, while obviously Seth Rollins obviously escaped the ring, while Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Rollins watched on this, let's say, the settled argument between the 3 amongst themselves in the ring. But if I got per prediction, this matchup, I don't think Seth Rollins will leave losing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title. He's a heel. He's a hot heel. And since he turned heel, ever since when Paul Heyman, of course, turned and actually made Seth Rollins a heel at WrestleMania, it makes perfect sense to keep Rollins as the champion. He's a real hot heel for a reason, and I don't think Punk will get anywhere near the title, or even Jey Uso and LA Knight. So I'm going to go for a win for Seth Rollins, as he'll capture the WWE World Heavyweight Champion still after winning that fatal 4-way matchup going into, of course, the pay-per-view of Clash in Paris in a few days from now. Now we move on to the next matchup, and we have Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman taking on against the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. We know that Roman Reigns and also the Tribal Thief, self-proclaimed Bronson Reed, on Monday Night Raw. There's obviously, let's say, a big heat between Reigns and Bronson Reed for the last few weeks now, since Roman Reigns returned back, and you know, he's been involved with Punk as well, and involved with Seth Rollins as well in the last few weeks when he returned back to WWE. And it's good to see that we've got a real big matchup in terms of the real heavyweights of Roman Reigns and also big Bronson Reed. This will be a real good matchup, I think, between Bronson Reed. Obviously, Bronson Reed wants to become, let's say, the top, let's say, main eventer in the future in the WWE. It'd be good to learn from Roman Reigns, of course, in the ring, going into Clash in Paris, of course, in a few days from now. But I am going to back the Tribal Chief, the original Tribal Chief. He will win. The head of the table will win against Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed will lose. He will lose, Reed. And Roman Reigns will win. And everyone in Paris will acknowledge the Tribal Chief by the end of that night. So I'm going to go for Roman Reigns to defeat Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman beside him at Clash in Paris. Now we move on to the main event of Clash in Paris, as we have Logan Paul versus John Cena, one-on-one against each other in the main event in Paris on Saturday. Logan Paul is a YouTube influencer, a part-timer in the WWE, versus a man gave his life to the WWE for 23 years. Hustle, loyalty, respect, and etc. John Cena. This matchup should really happen in the past, personally, Logan Paul and John Cena. I know these two men haven't crossed paths one-on-one, but these two men teamed up together when John Cena was heel way back in June at Money in the Bank. When at Money in the Bank, John Cena teamed up with Logan Paul to take on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso at the Money in the Bank at the time. But now, since John Cena is now returned back as a babyface until he retires in 4 months' time, he will go one-on-one with Logan Paul. And we know that way back on SmackDown, a little bit of trash talk between John Cena and also Logan Paul during their vignettes in the middle of the ring to build up to this event in Paris in a couple days from now. This is to be a very, very big matchup for Logan Paul in his career to learn and, learn the influence, learn a lot with John Cena inside the ring, facing one another inside the ring for Saturday. But we know that obviously way back on SmackDown last week, Nick Aldis received a message to John Cena that he's heard from Brock Lesnar. And then Logan Paul pushed the GM, Nick Aldis, all the way, and he punched John Cena in the face, and he ran out like a coward at the end of SmackDown from last week. And we know that Brock Lesnar, of course, getting back to him at SummerSlam, John Cena took on Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship title. Cody Rhodes retained or won back the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the Undisputed Championship, at that event at SummerSlam. He defeated John Cena and he won back the title. And then obviously the babyface now, Brock Lesnar, made a massive surprise, massive shock, obviously at SummerSlam. And we know that he's been out for like 2 years now, Brock Lesnar, due to the fact that he was suspended from WWE due to those allegations with him and Vince McMahon doing things obviously behind the scenes. And obviously there was a lot of legal lawsuits going involved with Brock Lesnar, and that's why he did not participate or be involved whatsoever in WWE television. But I'm glad he's back, Brock Lesnar, and definitely that'll be a big matchup coming up maybe at the end of the year. Perhaps maybe it's like Survivor Series, maybe. That might be a matchup to hear by Brock Lesnar and Cena before Cena wraps up his career in December later of this year. But going now back into my prediction now for this pay-per-view on Saturday night at Clash in Paris. I do think that John Cena will win. I don't think Logan Paul will win. I think Logan Paul will learn from John Cena. I know that Logan Paul defeated AJ Styles, a veteran, way back at WrestleMania, but you're talking about John Cena here, the face of the WWE. He's got a lot of pride. He's got a lot to fight for within the next 4 months from now until he retires from the WWE. And I do think that John Cena will AA Logan Paul and pin him 1, 2, 3. Cena wins, and then Brock Lesnar appears. I do think Brock Lesnar will be in Paris on Saturday, and I think Brock Lesnar will be coming to the ring and try and F5 John Cena, but John Cena denies the F5 and get away from it, and he picks up Brock instead and he AAs him down to the mat. That's my prediction, but I don't think that probably would happen. If Brock Lesnar, maybe in my other stipulation I probably would say is Brock Lesnar might be involved in the matchup and actually obviously take out John Cena. Is this match actually a singles match? Let's have a look on the internet. Is this match a singles matchup on... let me have a little look. If this matchup is a singles matchup, or is it going to be like a Extreme Rules? I didn't really know what's happened about that personally. I should know about it. But it is a singles matchup, Logan Paul and John Cena. So maybe Brock Lesnar could probably, turn up maybe during the match, and maybe when the referee's down and out, he might come from the crowd, F5 Cena. Maybe Logan Paul might go for a pin, and then Cena kicks out, or maybe it might end up Logan Paul as the winner of that matchup potentially. But I don't think Brock Lesnar does favours for anybody, I don't think. So that's my, let's say my my theories going into Clash in Paris on the ending of the show between John Cena and Logan Paul. But that's my predictions, all my predictions at Clash in Paris on Saturday. If you like my wrestling content here on TGI Wrestling Productions, go and give me a subscribe. A subscribe on my YouTube channel. If you want more of these predictions and more of this wrestling content, give it a subscribe. And thank you for watching, and peace out. And good best of luck for everybody at Clash in Paris. I'll be keeping a real close eye in the pay-per-view, definitely, as I'll probably be live, doing a TikTok live stream maybe, and Clash in Paris. It all depends if I'm actually get home a little bit. Depends if I'm actually home at 8 o'clock, halfway through the pay-per-view. I might have to go live by, due to the fact that I have to get home from work, and it actually starts at 7 o'clock. It does in Paris, 8 o'clock in Paris, but 7 in the UK. So I might have to miss half of it though, going into the live stream on Saturday. But speaking about the whole pay-per-view, it'll be a very good event. I reckon it'll be for Clash in Paris. And what a way for John Cena to have his last ever match in Europe. His last match ever in Europe will come down to a match of him and Logan Paul. But apart from that, everybody here on my page, thank you all for watching. And I'll hopefully see you on the live stream, maybe halfway through it, 8 o'clock on Saturday. But until then, peace out. What Nick saying?
I just heard from Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Oh! Logan Paul just whacked Cena in the face! Bloody hell! What a wrap to end the show here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What?